thank you so much for, I guess, being my first participant in the Project Forward podcast. This is both of our first times, so
Mhm.
it's exciting and a little
Yes.
scary.
Thank you for having me.
Of course,
Um,
of course.
this is an adventure. It really is because
Yeah.
I'm not used to. I don't really like being public facing and on camera like this. So it's new. It's a
It's new.
struggle.
Well, I guess first just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name's Lauryn Landers, and Miata is my battle buddy in this new Project Forward Zoom. And I'm a truck driver, but I'm hoping I can get out of truck driving because I know I feel like I've been doing it for almost 9 years now.
Mm.
And I feel like I'm just getting to the point where I don't want to be stuck in a truck all day every day. I feel like I just don't get anything accomplished, which I don't. And I know my time can be used better elsewhere. And so I didn't know what I was going to do at first, but I knew I wanted to get out of trucking. And so I started watching YouTube videos. I went to YouTube University. And my mom had been telling me for a minute, she's like, you need to go on and watch Cody Sanchez, and you need to go on and watch Alex Hormozy, and you need to go on and watch. And she didn't even know about Pace Morby at first. I actually found Pace. She says she found him first. Don't listen to her. I found him first. And I told her, I said, we need to do something different. And she's like, you're right, we need to get off this truck. We need to go do something different. And I remember back in March of this year, she told us, she's like, okay, I'm going to be joining this. It was Women's Reign. Have you heard of that before?
I have. I love Teresa.
Yes. So
Yes.
we joined her $17 mastermind course. Yes. And for the next, I think it was 3 weeks or 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Like every week she
Mm-hmm.
has a new Zoom. And so we were on that. There were thousands of women on that. It was crazy how many women joined that. And it was amazing to see. The one thing I didn't like about it was instead of her being so much the person to speak, she brought on her sons a lot. And I'm like, I wanted to hear more from
Mm.
her. I wanted to hear
Mm.
her experiences. And it was basically after the first deal she did, where she said that she went out and door knocking, and after her like 57th door, she found somebody. That was about it. We didn't really hear many more of her
Mm.
stories about how she had succeeded. And I'm like, I wanted to hear more from her. And
Okay.
so that just kind of put me off of her a little bit. But I was still very interested in all the other women who were in this group because a lot of them had the same mindset that I had at this point. I was like, I
Mm.
want to get off the road. I want to do something different. And they all seem to have that same mindset. And in fact, I'm still part of a Facebook group with a bunch of these women. So hopefully we can do some deals together in the future, because I think that would be an awesome thing to do, is stay
Yeah.
together. These people I've never met before, but I still want to one day like have a meetup in like Nashville and get to meet everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
And do some deals together. But that was my start, and that was how we got into real estate. Was just, we literally were talking about wanting to get off the road. And I think Teresa Todd's Rain popped up on my mom's Facebook, and she's just like, you know
Mm.
what, I'm gonna sign up for it. And from there, I went to YouTube University. I started learning, and that's how I came across Pace. And from there, I guess it's history, because I haven't looked back, and I'm not going to.
That's
I think it's
awesome.
amazing.
That's awesome. So tell me again, this was March of this year?
March this year.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And it doesn't
Fabulous.
seem like it's been that long. It really doesn't. It feels like we just started, which we
Mm-hmm.
did compared to a lot of people. We just did. But March is when we started taking her mastermind course. We went through every week. We listened to the Zooms. And then in April's when I joined Pace's mentorship.
Okay.
And one, it's so much cheaper, or it was then. It was so much cheaper than her being. She was charging like, it was $25,000 for her
Mm-hmm.
mentorship. And she
Mm-hmm.
just isn't offering the same community that he has. And that's one of the
Mm.
things I really liked about his, because his is a lifetime membership, and hers, I believe hers expires. I think you get it for like a year and then it expires. And I'm like, I don't
Okay.
want a mentorship that is just oh, it's a year, and then, well, even if you still need help or you want to do deals with these people, yeah, they might be in your phone contact list, but what if there's new people coming in? You could do new deals, you could learn more.
Right.
Hers just expires, so I just didn't like that.
Right. Okay. That's awesome. I love your journey. What got you into trucking and then why real estate specifically? Because there's so many other things that you could be doing. Why real estate investing?
So there's this phrase, or there's this quote. I think it's I think it's Carnegie said it.
Mm-hmm.
90% of all millionaires are made through real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And that has stuck with me. And I like that quote. And I could be misquoting it, so I apologize if I am. But it's true. A lot of, even if there's other people I watch on YouTube, and it's amazing. There's this one guy I watch, and I just every now and then I'll play one of his videos, and he goes and interviews people down in like Los Angeles, and he'll go to like the high-end boutiques and the high-end shopping centers, and he
Mm-hmm.
asks people, just stops them on the street and say, and he'll ask them, he's like, what do you guys do for a living?
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing to me how many of them answer, oh, I'm in real estate, or I'm in development, or
Hmm.
I'm in construction. It's usually something to do with real estate. And I just
Interesting.
took me, I'm like, okay, and most of these people are making between, 100 to 100,000 a year to a million a year or more. And they're all in real estate. So
Hmm.
I just, I knew if I was going to go with real estate that, this, I had to find a way to get in, and I didn't know how to do it. I always thought you had to go get a loan and do it, and you
Right.
don't.
Right.
But how did I get in trucking? It just happens to be that in Knoxville, in this area, a lot of the jobs that are available, they just don't pay enough.
Mm.
And trucking was offering enough to make all of my bills. So um I had to go something, even though it was completely different from what anything I'd ever done before, because I worked retail before. I
Okay.
drove a Prius. I went from driving a Toyota Prius to driving a big rig. It is such a difference because
I bet it
I had
sounds like it.
I went to truck driving school, and I remember getting up in the rig, and I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, I have to back this thing up. And we were just doing simple, like straight line backing, which means you're just backing from, you literally drive, just backing like 50 feet in between cones. I mean, and even that freaked me out.
Well, let me tell you, um, I am just starting to back up my car. My children are fabulous at it. I am not. So I couldn't even imagine doing a
Yeah.
truck. I went from a car and now I have like a CRV. And so just from a car to something that's a little bit higher. So I
Uh,
hats off to you,
thank you.
even doing that. So while
Well,
you're on the road, what do you do as far as learning about real estate investing? And is there any way that you can communicate with anybody while you're on the road? Because I know you're there so many hours. Like, how do you juggle that?
people can call me. I can totally respond to calls. And my headset, if I need to, I can have voice to text. So if I can press a button on my headset, it'll read my text messages to me. And then I can literally press a button and tell it, respond to this person, and I can text them back. It's all done through my headset. I don't have to look at
Okay.
my phone. I don't have to have access to that. As far as learning, I can play a podcast on my phone. It can, I don't touch it. It sits in a cup holder. It sits up on my dash, whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
I can listen to it in my headphones if I need to. Other than that, I mean, that's how I'm learning. That's how I'm trying to stay up, like to date with all of the new because everything changes constantly.
I know, right?
So I'm trying to stay up to date with everything. Yeah. And not lose, I don't want to lose like focus, or I don't want to fall behind everybody, because it seems Pace has been launching all these new programs, and I don't want to lose any, out on any of these programs, because they're all amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the amount of help he's offering is just not something you can pass up. So I'm doing what I can to stay up to date with everything that way.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I spend about 60 hours in my truck a week, usually.
that's a lot of hours.
It can be.
That's a
You
lot of
get, I
hours.
swear you get used to it though. Most people, they're like, oh my gosh, I work 40 hours a week. I don't know how, I don't have time, because they're married, they have kids, they're going home. Just like, I'm sure just like you have, you probably work as many hours as I do. And then you got to go home and take care of your family and take care of everything else. And I don't know how you have time to do it either. I'm just like, I'm keeping up, but I'm like, I need more time. And so I'm
Yeah.
hoping real estate will help me with that a little more, because if I can just bring in a few deals, like assignments fees or whatever from those deals, then I'll have enough that I can scale back, and I can start
Gotcha.
scaling back more and more. Right now,
Gotcha.
I only have to technically right now I only have to work 4 days a week. So
Okay.
if I can, yeah. So they're about 12-hour days. And then
Okay.
I pick up a fifth shift if I need to.
Okay. So when you say 4 days doesn't sound as much, I'm thinking, over 5 days, but it's, at
Hmm.
least you have that fifth day, sixth and
Yeah.
seventh day that maybe you can dive into
Yeah.
some things,
And on my days off,
on
I
the
usually cram
ground.
them. I usually cram my off days like with as much stuff as I can because I want to get as much done as I can. And it just seems
Mm-hmm.
like there's never enough time in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
What is your ultimate goal in this journey of real estate investing?
in the next year, I'd like to get off the road
Okay.
completely. I want to start exercising more, eating healthier. The food on the road, it sucks. It does. It's not the healthiest. I don't care how many subways they cram in, how many truck stops there are. It is not the healthiest food. Um, and so that's my goal. I want to get off the road. I want to start losing weight, and I want to get back to my financial goals. I bought a
Mm-hmm.
house in 2021,
Awesome.
and I want to expand my rental portfolio. So I want to start we just got into private money lending. So
Nice.
that was something we just started this week actually. And so I want to go from, you know, there to buying and holding my own properties. So that's my goal. In the next year I'd like to buy 3 properties at least.
Fabulous. Fabulous. In the Knoxville area, or are you looking outside of Knoxville?
I want to go, let's say I want to go. I'd like to buy a property in Texas, in Dallas, that area, because I used to live there. I know the area very well. I
Hmm.
lived there for 6 years. I lived in
Okay.
McKinney and Plano and Allen. Well, I didn't live in Plano. I worked in the area. My brother currently works in the area.
Okay.
And then um let's see. I'd like to start buying properties up in Cleveland and the area surrounding Cleveland because it's a growing area. I know it's coming back, and there are a lot of
Mm,
investors that are interested in that area.
absolutely.
And then possibly St. Louis. So those
Hmm.
are my 3 areas I'm focusing on.
What's special about St. Louis? I don't know about St. Louis
It's
much.
just like Cleveland. It's starting to come back, but I would say don't buy any properties on the Illinois side because Illinois restricts you further. Buy
Okay.
properties on the Missouri side
Okay.
because you have more freedom. But it's just like Cleveland. There's a lot of houses that they need work, or you can
Lots
get
of
them at a
work.
very discounted, yeah, price. But there's a lot of multifamily there, so it's
Mm-hmm.
easier to get in if you want to get into like multifamily. It's
Mm-hmm.
easier to get into multifamily in that area. So
Mm-hmm.
that's my goal. I want to get into smaller multifamily, 2, 3, 4, maybe up to like 10 units, and
Okay.
that's what I want to start with.
Okay. Fabulous. You mentioned that your brother is in Texas,
I do have
right?
Texas.
You have
Yep.
a brother in Texas. Is
Hmm.
this a family affair? Is he going to be a part of this, or is this no?
No, he's well. I have 3 brothers and 1 sister.
Okay.
And so I do have a sister who's starting to get interested. She's been kind of on the fence about it a lot. And so she's like, well, I might get into real estate, but she kind of needs to ask for more help, I think, because she's working a full-time job too. So she's not grasping it, I think, or not as invested in it as my mom and I are right now. And then I have a brother, an older brother, who lives like half an hour from me, and he is actually more invested. He's actually been calling agents. So
Oh, nice.
he's been calling. Yeah, he doesn't. He just gets on Zillow and PropStream, and he just goes and finds low equity deals, and he starts calling agents. So he's been getting more involved. He sees that there is an upside to this and that you can actually make money in real estate, and so he's been more on board with it. And then I have my oldest brother lives out in Oregon, and I've been
Okay.
trying to tempt him and get him into it too. Like, look at these deals, look what you can do, and we'll see.
Right. Right.
Maybe he'll be interested. If he's not, then he's not. If my younger brother is not, he's not. And I'm not going to force anybody. So obviously that would never happen, but I'm not going to keep like pushing deals on them saying, look
Right.
what you can do if they don't want
Right.
to.
Right. I think that sometimes people have to see, you
Mm-hmm.
know, see the
Yeah.
proof, and it's okay if they don't. I think that there's
Mm-hmm.
enough out here for everybody to find their niche, what they're passionate about, what they
Yeah.
want to, do in their lives. But was just you said that you had a brother in Texas. So I was thinking
Yeah.
like, like how could he help you? You know what I mean? If you
I
have a
have friends
property
still
down
in
there.
Texas, and some of
Yes.
them, I actually have a friend who's a realtor in Texas. So,
Oh, fabulous.
um, huh?
Fabulous.
Yeah. And I haven't actually asked her to start looking for anything for me yet because um I haven't had the money to invest it myself yet. I'm getting into I feel like I'm kind of doing this backwards because we're going into private money lending first, but you get a good return. So we're gonna start with that. And then
Gotcha.
after after that we'll probably jump in. Like I said, the next year I want to start buying properties. Yeah.
Good, good, good. I think that it's just awesome to hear that you're taking action,
Mm-hmm.
right? Taking action is huge, and not just learning about things, right?
Yeah.
Um, because I definitely have kind of like sometimes I'm learning, learning, learning. Now it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, let's take action, you know? And so it's awesome and
Yeah.
inspiring to hear you say what you're taking action on. That's amazing. That's
Thank
amazing.
you.
And I pray that in a year you have your three. That's your goal,
That's
right?
my goal
And to
right
get
now.
off the road,
Mm-hmm.
and not have to be there as much, you know,
Yeah.
not have to be
I
there as much. That's
Like I
phenomenal.
said, I want to start losing the weight. I want to start getting off the road and being here and more present. We at one point we had an entire homestead. We had goats and chickens and ducks and
Mm,
geese and cows and a donkey and
that's a
pigs.
lot
We
of
had
lot
all
of
of it.
animals.
We did. We had a lot of
That's
animals and
awesome.
we had rabbits too. We ended up selling almost all of them.
Mm,
We gave some away to farms near us and then the rest we sold. And because when we joined sub 2 they wanted to know what our commitment would be, so our commitment was that we needed more time, and all of our free time at that point was going towards our homestead. We were taking care of
mm,
all the animals on our days off. It's a lot of work. You're taking,
mm,
I mean, you're having to muck out stalls, and you're having to change out bedding, and you're having just a lot, give shots, trim hooves. There's a lot of work that goes into running a homestead, and if you're
mm,
not running around finding hay, you're usually trying to find feed. So we just decided,
mm,
and it's not something we wanted to do necessarily because we loved our animals. Thank God I had a friend who lived close by who took all of our goats and our ducks and geese, and she's actually taken several of our animals from, and she loves them just as much as we do. So,
nice.
um, but it was not easy giving them all up, and but we want to make this work, so we took all of that time that we were devoting to them, and we now have that to devote to this,
Okay.
and that's the plan.
Awesome. So thinking about that, since that was, something that you really love to do, thinking about that goal, right? So,
Yeah.
short-term goal is a year. You want to not drive as much. You want to have three
Mhm.
properties. And I hear the passion in your voice about your homestead. Like, what's the ultimate goal at the end of all of this?
I want my homestead again, but
Mm-hmm.
I want something that's better set up for them. Um, Something that doesn't take as much time. Like if there was a way to have all of our animals in one place right now I don't even have my cows or my donkey living near us. They're about half an hour from us, and it's just literally because it's just easier. The place that they're living now has a big beautiful barn, fenced in pasture, and they love it. There's water run, like water lines that have been run. There's electric in the barn. I didn't have all of that when we moved into our property. I have 9.5 acres here, but I don't have
Wow.
it. The whole property is not fenced in. So I don't have a whole fenced in property. I do have a barn, but it's not big enough to hold all of my animals. So I just need my future goals: find a property where I can have all of my homestead animals, find a
Mm,
property that works best for me and for them. That would be my goal, and that's probably a year or two down the line. But I want all my animals. I want my goats, again. I want my chickens and my ducks and my geese, and yeah, all of them. I do miss them. They were, oh my gosh, I could literally call down to my goats and they'd all be back to you. So I miss that, walking out the front door every day, and you can hear them crying from below because they know that someone's standing up there, and they're like, come feed me or pet me or brush me or I do miss that. Yeah.
well, I pray that that'll come back. You'll get that back Sooner than you think. Sooner
I
than
do
you
too.
think. Yeah, we were talking the other day and about like I don't do any of that. Like I have nothing. I have zero. I had a dog. Well, when I lived with my mother, and he passed. My daughter was probably about 2 or 3. She's 24. Okay. So it's been
You have
that
a
long
dog
since
that's that old?
no, 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 no. He
Oh, oh,
passed away when my daughter was
I'm
two or three
sorry.
years old.
Okay.
So it's
Wow,
been
she's
that,
24.
and she's 24. So it's
Oh,
been a long time since I've had an animal in my life. Maybe. And
you
people
should get
say,
a
why don't you have
dog.
a dog? I was like, because I have
Yeah.
children that are expensive. And they're still expensive at 20 and 24.
And I will tell you, the feed costs have not gone down for even dogs or cats.
Oh yeah, I
We
bet.
have 4 cats right now. No, I have 6 cats. Yeah, I have 6 cats and I have 9 dogs basically. And
Wow.
the feed costs are very high. Plus, we have dogs that have health issues, so they
Mm,
require they like I have 2 shepherds and they require expensive enzymes every single month, and
mm,
those enzymes cost over $100 a month to buy. And
mm,
so that's an expense. Thank goodness I don't have to pay it right now because my brother is actually taking care of it. They were his dogs originally, but eventually they're going to be here at our property, and that'll be our, they'll be ours to take care of. And yeah, those dogs can be expensive, so I get it. I do. I had a dog that when we first got him, we adopted him from the shelter, and I love him to pieces. He's amazing. He's a hound. He's such
mm.
a sweet boy, and all he wants to do, he will literally, like, if you're sitting on the couch, he'll come right up to you and he'll just lean into your side, and that's his way of letting you know, okay, I'm giving you a hug. That's his way of saying, okay, I just want to hang, I want to curl up with you and hug you. And so he's the sweetest boy. But he for a long time had to be expressed every couple weeks, and we didn't know that when we first got him.
He
He
had to
ended
be
up with a bad
expressed.
infection. Yeah,
I don't know what that
but you
means.
don't want to know.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But
Maybe an
it's,
offline conversation.
yeah. But basically he had to go to the vet twice a month basically
Okay.
to be expressed, and it was just insane because when we first got him we didn't know that he had this issue. The shelter he was in didn't even know he had this issue. He ended up with a
Mm,
bad infection because of it.
mm,
It just, things you don't know, right? And so yeah, that was a chart, that was a fee every couple weeks. And not only that, but gas and time taking him to and from the vet, but he needed it. He doesn't need it anymore, but he did then. So I get it. Pets take a lot of care. They take a lot of money.
hmm. And the way that you're talking about them, they're like children. You know what I mean? So they're,
Yeah.
you know, you love
Yeah.
them. That's awesome.
Hmm.
That's awesome. And so the long-term goal is to have a property that you're able to have your homestead and maybe more
Hmm.
than you had before. Um, so another question I have is in the end, who do you want to help? Like what's your they call it avatar. I know we talk about
Hmm.
avatar and like kind of our qualities,
Yeah.
but like your avatar or your who, I'm part of a mentorship where we tell it like who's your who,
Yeah.
who are the people that you ultimately would like to help? Like
I want
who's
to help
the
people
best
just like
way?
me who are just getting into it, who maybe have no idea how to get started or don't know where to turn. Like they need
Mm-hmm.
resources or they don't know who to talk to or call. I was there. I had no idea who to talk to. I'm sure you were there too.
Mm.
Yeah, you're on this group and you're like, am I supposed to go on Facebook and just ask people for help? I don't understand where I'm supposed to go from here.
Yeah.
And that was me. I had no idea. And it was thank goodness I had people who actually reached out to me on Facebook. They just friended me or they commented on like they sent me direct, messengers, they sent me messages, and I had no idea what I was doing at first. And all I knew was, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to go out there and start talking to cold calling or talking to people on like
Right.
sellers, like yeah, cold calling sellers. And I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to say. What do you
Right.
say to people? And a lot
Right.
of people are in the same boat. They don't know what they're supposed to say. So I can be a connector. I am direct to agent. I love talking to agents.
Mm.
You do get those agents who are like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to talk to you about this. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to talk about
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Be persistent. A lot of agents don't know how to introduce subject to, or they just don't know how to introduce creative financing to their clients or their customers. They don't know
Yeah.
how to explain it. So they don't want to offer it at all. So the more you can explain it, the more you can help them, the better. Um, and, and, you know, you do get those agents who are like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about that. Be persistent. A lot of agents don't know how to introduce subject to, or they just don't know how to introduce creative financing to their clients or their customers. They don't know how to explain it. So the more you can explain it, the more you can help them, the better. the easier it is for them and for yourself later.
Okay.
And then I know I obviously am a private money lender, although I'm tapped out at the moment. Hopefully I'll be able to lend more in a little while. So that's the
Yeah.
goal.
Good. 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 Well, I think I'm not even sure what our time is now, but I thank you for your time. I love you're such an inspiration to me. I appreciate all that you are doing right now. Get rid of this. Right.
It says you have 10 minutes left.
I know. Okay.
It doesn't feel
That's
like
why I
it's been
was
that
like,
long.
it doesn't. It
No.
doesn't. We could probably talk all day. So
Yeah.
many things to talk about. So
Uh-huh.
since we have 10 more minutes, I want to so we talked about real estate, we've talked about kind of your future goals, but you've said a couple of times, and this is totally if you're open to having this conversation. Um is you talked about wanting to get off the road, but a couple of
Mm-hmm.
times you said, want to lose weight and eat better and things like
Mm-hmm.
that, right? What are
Yeah.
some things? So there might be some other people out there who have that aspiration, you
Yeah.
know, um, and thinking about what it will look like for you when you do, or what are some things that you can do while you're still on the road, um, to lose just a little bit. And what would that goal be? Like if you were to say in the next month, just a month, short
Yeah.
term goal, what would you what would that be? Come from a weight loss or from a health perspective. I'm gonna say
Yeah.
health because weight loss is part of it, but your overall
Mm-hmm.
health. Just a month. What are some things that you could do in just this month that could better your health?
So I've actually started doing quite a bit already.
Nice.
I drink way more water than I ever did before because it makes you feel fuller longer. It does suck when you're on a truck and you get stuck in a traffic jam and you have to go to the bathroom. Yeah, that does suck. That does. Yeah.
I bet.
But I'm trying to drink more water
Good.
and I've been taking salads with me for my meals. So my company forces me to take a 30-minute break. It gets deducted from my check no matter if I take it or not. So I'm taking it. And so I take
Absolutely.
salads with my lunch. And then the other thing I've been trying to do is get out and walk around my truck more
Mm,
because you get stuck in those trucks for sometimes 14 hours a day. And I hate being stuck sitting there for 14 hours a day. Number one, it feels it's not claustrophobic so much, but you're in a little metal box.
yeah.
And so getting out, getting some fresh air is always a plus to me. Um, but I know there's a lot of people who are in the same boat as I am,
Hmm.
and I know that they're truck drivers, and losing weight is constantly a concern because when you sit there and you munch on random stuff all day long because you have to, I don't care if it's apples, I don't care if it's, I don't know, Snickers candy bars. People snack on everything on the road.
Yeah, I
Um,
bet.
because it keeps you, I don't know, focused. It keeps you going. It keeps you like, otherwise you stare at the same road every day and it drags. It can. So, but when you're snacking all day, you're putting on the weight. And so it's hard to get out of that mindset and start saying, I need to lose the weight. But I
Hmm.
know there's plenty of truckers out there that are in the same boat I am and saying, I got to find
Hmm.
something different. This is not
Hmm.
healthy. This is not for me. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm just like, I
Hmm.
can't keep doing this. I I want to do something different. That's more active. So,
Hmm.
um, I actually want to buy a treadmill in the next like month or two. And I'm going to find somewhere in this house to set it up so I can start using it. So when I get home, sometimes I don't get home till like 10 or 11 at night, but I don't care. I'm going to get on the treadmill and use it. So that's my next goal.
Okay. Craigslist is a good place. Facebook
Yeah.
Marketplace is a good place,
Uh-huh.
to find
I've actually
a
been on there
used one.
looking. Yeah,
To find a
sometimes
used
they're
one.
really far away though. So
Oh,
I'll keep looking, but not just that. Some people, you'll find them on there, and I'm one person trying to get it in the back of a truck and get it home. It's not going to be so easy, but I'll figure it out. I'm a determined person.
yeah.
I will admit
Sometimes,
I use Amazon way too much.
yeah. Amazon, I think, is all of our friends.
Uh-huh, because they'll
Right.
deliver it to my front door. Yeah,
Right.
I feel
Right.
bad for the FedEx driver and the UPS driver, but it'll come to my door.
Right. Don't feel bad. They're working. They're getting paid to do
Mm-hmm.
so. Right.
Yeah. Yep, that's true.
Yeah. So I wanted to bring that up because you said it a couple of times, which means that it's really
Uh-huh.
important to you. So I'm just
Yeah,
trying to
it is.
capture the stuff that's in your heart that you want to
Mhm.
do, you know, because real estate is phenomenal and it's going to be great and you're going to do great things with that. But then it's also like, how are you helping yourself? Who do you want to
Mhm.
help, you know,
Yeah.
in this process? And I think that's whatever we do, that's what we have to think about the most. Like, how am I taking care of me and the people
Yeah.
around me? And who else am I helping? Like, who do I want to help,
Mhm.
through this journey? Right.
Yeah.
So fabulous. Oh, it's the time is at the top. Now I can see it.
I bet it gives you a countdown, like when you get in your last 10 minutes. It's like, uh-oh, running out of time.
Right,
Oh,
right, 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 right. Well, I'm going to end it here.
okay.
And I thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm so glad to see your face.
Yeah,
Right.
first time we've actually seen each other. So it's
So
lovely to
that's
actually see you.
exciting.
I did see your video the other day. It was fantastic.
Oh,
But
thank you.
I get to actually speak to you this time.
I know, right?
Hmm.
All right. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the things that we're going to do together and for this whole entire community. Like you said, what Pace has is offering us is amazing, you
Hmm.
know. And so I'm looking forward to what's going to happen in the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months from now,
Yeah.
like where we are. We're starting having this conversation today. We should have this
Hmm.
conversation 3 months and 6 months and nine
Yeah.
months and 12 months, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Because we could just like keep going and go like and not really do those check-ins, so maybe
Uh-huh.
that's something that we should do kind of in the
I
future.
feel like that's why I feel like that's why a lot of people drop off eventually because they don't check in enough. They don't have an
Mm-hmm.
accountability group.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll hold each other accountable.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm saying that for myself. I need that, because you guys have
Hmm.
been great for me.
Oh, it's okay. I'll hold you accountable.
Like,
I'll do
get
it.
it
I'm okay.
together.
I'll
Get
do
it together. Get it together. In the
it.
busyness of life, in the,
Yeah.
in all the hours that you're on the road. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? We have to
Yeah.
really think about the time that we do have. Right.
Yep. Yeah.
So, all righty. Well, thank you.
Thank you.